hello, and welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, because you're a friend. Okay, so last show of the day on the docket, we have 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise, Season 2, Episode 9, Bye Bye Beaches. And this seemed like it was the finale. It was an extended episode. It wrapped up basically all the storylines for me. What do you think, Jamal?
I mean, it was normally I'm not a fan of extended finales, but I guess they felt they needed to do it for
Mm-hmm.
this particular franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as as a whole, there really wasn't much there, but they needed to do it. They wanted to do it right, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
they extended it, in my opinion.
Well, my only flaw with it was bringing in Frankie Dim.
Yeah,
I thought it was unnecessary. I think he outed himself as a liar because he admit. Oh well, never mind. I'm not gonna go into that now. You decide on who we gonna talk about first.
I want to talk about Frankie first because that kind of the reason why because to me he lied because
Mm-hmm.
if he weren't, here's the way I look at it. If you had nothing to hide or nothing to lie about, you would have just shown up and said and told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I knowing the relationship between Abby and Gabby, I just could not see Abby just tossing Gabby to the side like that.
Wait,
And
he
he even
admitted.
said they talked about it. They
Yeah,
talked about
you caught
it. He goes,
that.
well,
Yes.
yeah, he said we talked about it, and then we never talked about it again. And when you guys talked about it and you didn't shoot it down, in Abby's mind, she's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he's on board. So
Mm-hmm.
now we just have to make the plans.
And was he the one who told her not to tell Gabby?
He was what he tried to do is tell he tried to say that Abby told because they were in a remember they were in a WhatsApp chat together,
Right.
and he tried to say it was Abby's idea not to talk into the WhatsApp group chat. So he tried to throw her under the
Ah.
bus. That's what it was.
My thing is, right? It didn't seem like he was that interested in even connecting with them again until Rodney told him that he said, he tried to give an explanation on what happened, on why Frankie wasn't there, and two, because they had that ceremony and Rodney went to it. Then all of a sudden it seemed to me like his opinion turned, and then he was like, well, if I ain't got nobody, I'm gonna fuck up what they got too.
Right,
So he came off as very petty.
right.
And I liked it when she was like, so wait, you thought that I was going to come to the United States and be with you and leave Gabby behind? Like, wow. But this should teach the girls, don't invite nobody into y'all relationship.
R- Right.
Hey, Susan. Hey,
And
Steven. Hey,
and I,
Sunway.
it was funny when he said like I had no intention um in coming in between your relationship. They're like no, we didn't let you come in between it. We allowed you to. So they took
Mm-hmm.
ownership on that part,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which was really really good.
And I was glad to see that Gabby is still not 100% trusting Abby, even though she did that commitment ceremony with her.
Hmm.
Um, I think Abby better realize that she has a long road to travel to rebuild 10, 11 years of trust with Gabby.
Oh, for sure.
Who lied, Gabby or Frankie? Both of them. Because I think that's what, wait, Gabby or Frank? You mean Abby, right? Because Gabby said that Abby's relationship was a little bit too heated and that she feels that Abby had feelings for Frankie. But come on now.
Right. I would agree with her on that because you're not going to get that upset with someone you don't care about.
Ryan thinks Abby Abby lied. I think both of them lied, but I think Abby was telling the truth regarding him saying that he was going to think about bringing Gabby because he
Hmm.
admitted that out of his mouth.
Right. Because they talked about it at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so Abby. Okay, all right, somebody. Gabby can see it. Yeah, but Frankie lied too. Frankie lied. Oh, that was just a mess. But I could have done without it. Like they could have thrown in the ceremony the last time we had a segment on them and left it at that. Because I
Right.
couldn't believe that Frankie got mad at Rodney. Like you chickened out and you left your friend to go by himself. And of course he's gonna have to offer an explanation.
Because he's the one that's there.
Yeah. But Frankie got issues. Good luck, Frankie, in your
Yep.
Airbnb. Um, anything else with them?
Mm-mm.
Who next?
Oh, I'm trying to think. Who else did we see? Who was we see? Oh, Ariana and Sherlon. Okay, I want to wrap this up very, very quickly for everybody. He's not going to remain faithful. Okay, we can move on now.
He isn't.
I mean,
And the embassy will never reopen.
right. Because
I
even when he was talking to her, when she would talk to him about them, he would always refer back to Odin, and that's why I don't really care for her because she's not getting the cues that he's giving her. If anything he does is only going to be for Odin, it's not going to be for you, and
but here's
that's
the
just the
thing
truth.
though. It's not like he's like a young fella. He's a
No,
grown, mature man who is set in his ways.
his whole ways correct.
Yes. Yes. And I Ariana's a nice girl. I just don't see it. I just don't see him, even for the baby. Even even
she's trying to turn a hoe into a husband. It's not going to work
mm-hmm.
because he likes his life.
Messy. Ryan, you're so bad. Ryan says, at least I don't have to hear Frankie say Mexico again. Oh my God. Ariana is willfully blind at this point.
Hmm.
Yes, Ryan.
Hmm.
Maybe it's those fake eyelashes that she has on that can't have us. They just prevented her from seeing everything. And at this point, I'm sick and tired of Miss Karen because I thought it was out of place her asking those questions in the taxi back to the airport.
Correct. I agree.
You
I'm
could
just
have
over her.
waited till y'all
Period.
got on the plane. Sherlon grosses me out. Well, yeah, he's a rent-a-penis. So, ooh, good luck, girl. But yeah, I don't see unless the two of them are in this to be like continuous season after season, and that's what they're doing. But in the real world, do I think this relationship will work? No, no.
Mm-mm.
Who next?
Okay, I think we have Valentine and Boo, and then who's the last one?
Boo. And Danielle and Johan.
Okay, so Danielle and Johan,
Uh-huh.
that's not gonna last. I don't care if you're married or not. You want to move to? I don't understand why she went through with this, and here's why. It the it it only benefits you to move to DR. It doesn't move benefit him and his family. There's limited opportunity, and you're not trying to work as hard. So yeah, I'm not seeing how you moving there is going to help anything. And I'm sorry, and this is I want to be sensitive, but I have to say this realistically. I'm not understand why these 40 something women get involved with these younger men who want children
Mm-hmm.
because the way she's acting and her continued disappointment, it and she's just putting herself in harm's way
Mm-hmm.
to be disappointed. And I can't feel bad for her because she
Mm-hmm.
did it to herself.
Yeah.
And he was
Oh,
very clear that he wanted a child. Like there was no
yes.
hiding that. And
And
not like he
his
has to
lack
trick
of
her.
knowledge of the actual reproductive process was mind-boggling when they took the pregnancy test. Just saying. Just on a side note, Ryan, with regards to them saying that the embassy is closed in Jamaica, but people are traveling to Jamaica, the section that processes visas can close down, but embassy could still be operational based on appointments, or if Americans are in trouble in that area, they can contact the embassy. But the visa processing department might be closed because that would require having people line up and coming in for appointments and stuff like that. So I can understand that there's different sections to the embassy or consulates in the various jurisdictions. Um, Go ahead, Jamal.
I'm looking at Sunway's question.
Mhm.
Think Johan's going to stay faithful to Danielle? I doubt it. And I don't see this relationship lasting simply for the simple fact that, okay, number one, he wants children. She's 42
Mhm.
at the time of filming. Then you take that component, you take the second component, which is the earning potential down in DR and to help his family out. I don't. That's another point of contention. And number three, you're already complaining about money, right? Why would are you talking about trying to find an egg donor, maybe a surrogate? I mean, that's a lot of money. So why would you even entertain this as a grown woman? And that's my concern. My concern is for her, more for her, she put herself in that position.
Mhm. Um, Hey Ryan, I sent a response to that, to your question. Valid point. Just coming from the perspective of someone who lived in another country, for the locals, that's the only section that count where you go and get your visa stamp. The other section don't count. And in our heads, like, that's the embassy where we go to get our visa. Like, we don't think about the other functions of an embassy in the country. That's all.
Ryan says to keep that young man involved. I get that, Ryan, but my point is there's
Mhm.
too many red flags, there's too many major
Yeah.
crossroads for them to go over. Because like the most important things to me, if you're going to even think about getting married, it had the two most important things are money and family, money and children.
Hmm.
Um, so they're lacking in the money department, both of them. And then,
Hmm.
in my opinion, I'm not sure how they're going to manifest this baby. And I'm sorry if you think he's only going to. Seems like he comes from a big family. So if you think he's just only going to be happy with one child, I think you're sadly mistaken. I just don't like it when, like, especially women with the children thing, when women who are like later in life, like in their 40s, do this to themselves because all that's going to happen is this: he's probably going to make you feel inadequate because you can't bear children, or it'll be hard for you to bear children, and his family's going to do the same thing to you.
Yeah, and that's going to be his excuse to stray.
Hmm.
That's going to be his excuse. Well, if you can't give me what I wanted, what I told you I wanted from the very beginning, I'm going to find someone else who can. I agree with you. The lady that she called Lisette,
Hmm.
Elizabeth, she made the most sense out of everybody. She made the most sense. I feel like Danielle is really rushing this. She's only known him for 5 months, has only spent 3 weeks with him in person. She sees all of the red flags and she's choosing to ignore it because of some hocus pocus and, oh, I met my soulmate and he makes me happy. Y'all aren't even on the same page with regards to where y'all want to live. You know the challenges that he has in DR, and you want to come down there, give up your teaching job, come down there and practice hocus pocus on the beach.
Mm-mm.
Good girl.
I can their segment I cannot take seriously, and that's just the honest truth.
I
I don't.
almost used a picture of them at their wedding as our thumbnail, and then I had it up next to Valentine and Boo, as you affectionately call him.
Mhm,
And I was like, well, which one was the real storyline? And she irritated the snot out of me.
mhm. I think the storyline. I think the storyline is real. The problem is that there's too many red flags, and when the red
Mhm.
flags are money and children, you really need to take a step back and reevaluate that. That's
All
where I'm
her
coming from with
friends
them.
tried to warn her. Remember the ones
Hmm.
before she left? Lisette during this episode? Like, if you hearing your internal alarms are going off, right?
Hmm.
And your friends are reconfirming your internal alarms.
Hmm.
And then you go against all of that. Like, how do you expect that to turn out well in the end?
And even a little, what her shaman, I guess a shaman, I think he is, or something. So her
A
religious
shaman.
person,
Yeah,
you told her there was some flags going on.
exactly. Remember the peanuts? The
Yeah.
peanuts with the flag. And there, I was looking for an officiant as well. I was looking, I didn't see none. It was like they just went down there and read some words to each other. It was odd. Maybe they'll come back next season and say that they never filed the documents or something. I don't know. They're a little shady. So yeah, because I had a cute little picture of them kissing at the wedding, and then I said, you know what? There wasn't any growth there in
Mm-mm.
them as a couple, whereas there was growth with Valentine and Boo.
Right.
It felt like it, Ryan. It felt like a commitment ceremony or a spiritual
Right.
wedding. It was just his. Maybe they went down to the courthouse and did a civil ceremony, and then went and did like the spiritual thing on the beach for her. Maybe they did that. I don't know. Um, I have to look up what the legal requirements are to get married in DR, because I've never done weddings in DR. I've done them in other Caribbean countries, but not in DR. So I've just got to look that up. Um, interesting, interesting. It leaves me with a lot of questions for them. And most importantly, I just question her sanity. But that's it. Um, However, I will say the trash the dress segment at the very end, that was epic. That will give her really great photos and video, just based on what I saw. She did a beautiful trash the dress um, thing. So good for you, Danielle. Good for you. Last, is it last already?
Yeah.
Last. Okay, yeah, Valentine and Boo.
I mean, Valentine did a great job for Boo. Everything, he did a great job. It was one of the best proposals we've seen on TV, in my opinion. He had the
Mm-hmm.
marry me, the fireworks, the lights, the petals, the dinner setting, and all that. Of course, Boo said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Boo was Carlos. So I'll start calling him Carlos now, so he don't be confused. So Carlos was grateful. He thought about everything, and like he had his sister there, and his cousin, and his sister's like, you know what? Um, basically, if I had any doubts about this before, like this proposal, this
Mm-hmm.
engagement just gave me even more comfort, and that was nice
Mm-hmm.
to hear. They're getting along really well. I mean, it was just a happy ending at the end of the day. And they're gonna have their challenges. I think,
Mhm.
especially if Carlos moves to the U.S. Carlos won't really have anybody. He'll be relying on Valentine. But I think they can get it through. It's just I think like Carlos brought this up. He's like when we get to the U.S. We may look into bringing in a third. And I mean I think that'll be their biggest struggle. I think that'll be their biggest hurdle, especially for Carlos.
Mm. Um, okay, so Ryan wonders, I didn't realize her son was 21. I wasn't doing the math. I didn't think he was that old. But
Yeah,
I
she
was
said 21.
wondering where the son was and what he was thinking about this. Um, wow. Maybe we'll find out when they meet,
Right.
since Johan is closer in age to the son than her, right?
Oh, it's equal distance.
Ah, okay, okay. Yes, Ryan, I am glad that the sister, Carlos's sister, came around because I was a little nervous about that because she has a good poker face.
She really did.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Sunway says I don't see that last too long. Oh no, you don't. You're always distracted. It is odd. It is odd, but you know how I get over it? I just stare at Boo. Um, he's like his man bun this episode was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was I loved it. Not Carlos, Valentine at the beginning was very irritating to me because I think he was putting on this, hey, we at the club kind of thing all the time. And it was a combination of that and the aggravating American overseas that was getting on my
Mm,
nerves. But I think
right.
once they got over themselves and settled in, um, no, Valentine was less irritating to me. And then in this episode, when he said to Carlos, when they were sitting down talking to his sister and it went real quiet because he doesn't understand Spanish and he's just like, is everything okay? And Carlos was like, yeah, she's accepting it. And then he turned to her and he was like, can I give you a hug? I was like, where has this Valentine been the whole like season? The birthday party that he threw for Carlos, where he invited his friends, so kind, so thoughtful, so considerate of Carlos. And then again for the proposal, bringing in the sister and the cousin, letting them watch the proposal and then joining for dinner. Like, I missed it up. I had a little water in the eyes for it. I think he went from irritating to really like, oh shucks for me.
hmm No, I get that because basically he came across as like the typical American, like you said, the typical American going out of the country. It's like really, not everything can be your way. You're not being
Mhm.
sensitive. You're not being thoughtful. But as time went on, he became more thoughtful. He became more sensitive to Carlos.
I think it started for me noticing his change when he met with his friends and was asking questions of them. Um,
hmm
and I think it was after the night they went out to the gay club when he sat down and started asking the questions, especially the one that used to be Carlos's boyfriend.
right.
When Carlos announced he was taking Valentine to meet his sister, and that could have been a point for Valentine to rub it in on that young man that he's going to meet the sister and not you. But
hmm
you know, ease tensions there. And I thought he was sympathetic to what the others were feeling at the table, in addition to Carlos. You know, that was a
Agreed.
turning point for me. Yeah. So yeah, he proposes. One of the rings was too small, but Boo said yes. He's engaged. Um, Valentine's going back to work on the K1 visa. You think they're going to transition to 90-day fiance?
I could see it because their story is
Wow,
interesting,
it is.
and they're an actual couple.
And it could be a winning formula because remember our last gay couple, Kenny and Armando, they are loved. So maybe their 90-day producers are trying to recreate that instead of on the other way. They're going to
Right.
do it on regular 90-day. See how it
That
works
makes sense,
out.
especially if they get approved. If they're approved before filming. You know what I mean?
Mm,
That would make it even better. They're already approved and they're already ready to go.
yeah. And then they had their goodbye scene at the airport. Oh, it was so cute. Oh, all right, I look forward to seeing them again. But Valentine has to do something with that man wig.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot
Just
in
go
all
bald.
the wrong places.
Just go bald. Embrace it.
But if you have a man wig, right? Like, couldn't you do like a more natural hairline instead of connecting your hairline to your eyebrows? Like, it's just that one part that looks really odd to me.
No, especially when they showed it from the back. I'm like, y'all wrong for that.
Yeah, there was nothing in the
They was wrong.
back.
They was wrong for that because you could see the separation. You could see that it wasn't. Yeah,
It was a reverse Gino.
I mean, you could see like when you look at the back and then they show a screenshot of where the back of his hair and his hair. You could tell that's not his hair.
Oh, it's just so sad. Maybe he'll get that sorted out next time.
Yeah,
What did
right.
y'all
It's kind of a man weave. And
in
the
the
part
part
behind,
where
yeah,
he
that's the part in the back. That's why you see the difference.
it was just all sorts of weird. Um, what'd you think of his singing? That was the
Don't do
only
that
part I
again.
didn't like.
Don't do that
Yeah.
again.
Maybe if he had played like the recording of it after being auto-tuned
Right.
or
Hmm.
something, that would have been good. Um, but I guess he has to push his song, maybe.
I get it. He's cheating. It's a little product placement. I understand.
Faithful, he always. Oh, Sunway is wondering if Valentine can stay faithful since he's always talking about sex. Do you think he's going to try out a potential third before Carlos gets there?
I could see it, but I can't see him doing it without Carlos's permission. That I will say.
Oh,
Like Valentine's strikes me as very respectful and very um he's very invested. So I don't see him messing that up. I really don't because they've come a long way and he's really done a good job. So I don't see him messing it up.
mhm.
I just
Ryan
don't.
says he also wears his hats above his hairline so it doesn't catch. Oh, y'all going in on this poor man's hairline. Oh my God. So wait, he has like an actual weave, or is this like glued down, or what is this that's on his head?
It's basically for men. Typically, it's glue.
Oh.
But the fact that the way you know it's like a wig is because or it looks like a wig is because of the back of his head is shaved
Mm-hmm.
and the when you oh shoot with especially with how can I put it with wigs it's very easy with men it's very easy to tell a wig because
Mm.
like you know how women wigs when women wear wigs it looks they go for more natural
Mm-hmm.
men don't care
Just slap it on.
yeah if it looks decent go for it.
Okay. Ryan wants to know about the whole top bottom debate. Will they be able to get over that? Well, I think they've
Carlos is opening up to the idea of a third. Once he gets to the United States, is what he said.
I think, well, was that what he said after like
Yeah,
2 or 3 years?
yeah. Remember they agreed to that, and then
Yeah.
Carlos mentioned it again at the airport.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a plan in
Okay.
place.
Well, you know what? If it works for them, it works for them.
Right.
I had a friend who was was like a third in a couple's relationship. Um, and it worked until it didn't.
Right. And that's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's any relationship, though.
Well, this went off real bad. When it wasn't working, it went off real bad. But eventually, they all became friends again. But it took a while.
Oh, of course.
Like it was an epic meltdown. Um, Ryan says it's not a good installation. They should be able to fade it so it looks more natural. Look on IG and you can see better man wig installations. But could
Yeah.
it be that he was away for 2 weeks? Like when he first went down, did it look better? And then after 2 weeks of not getting like yourself like trimmed up or whatever, did it deteriorate? Like how does that work?
I don't think it ever really looked good, in my opinion. It's just because you could just tell it was a wig. I think that for me that was the reason.
Oh. Then they will have an open yeah, I guess so. Open to one person only.
Right.
Oof, that third gonna be tired. Wow. Ryan said it always looked that bad. Okay. Okay. Poor Valentine. Maybe Carlos will help him to like be okay with his normal hair.
Right. Or just go bald.
Mm-mm. That humid weather doesn't help. Oh, would humidity impact the glue?
The glue and the actual wig itself.
Oh, but that's only if it's human hair, right? Wouldn't synthetic hold up better?
It would, but it depends on how cheap the synthetic hair is, though.
Oh, there's so
Yeah.
many different layers.
Yeah.
Okay, if anything, his real hair would have grown in to look thicker, to look more like the front. Oh, I wonder if he got a touch up while he was down there. Like if you let your hair grow for 2 weeks, like how long does it get?
It depends. Like
Oh,
with at least as I've gotten older, my hair does not grow at the same rate it used to. So, for example, um, when I was younger, this length right here
mhm.
would take me. I would cut my hair, and it would be back in about 2 weeks. This much
Oh,
when I was younger, but now that I've gotten older, this is taking about a month and a half.
month and a half.
Right.
Okay.
So it takes twice as long for my hair to grow back.
And you're younger than he is, right?
Yeah, roughly a couple years. Let me see how. Let's see.
Look how we having this full on discussion about poor Valentine's um chia pet hair. Okay, if someone is bold, it's better to cut it
So
nice and trim it
we're two
often.
years apart. We're like 2 years apart.
Oh, if someone is bald, I got you, Sunway. So you're 2 years apart. Okay. He's 46. Okay. See, I was just trying to find excuses why it just looked bad, but I don't have any.
It probably wasn't. It wasn't probably the right hair texture for him.
Mhm.
Um, it probably wasn't like it wasn't placed well. And he, like I said, he should just go bald and let it go.
But maybe he doesn't like the shape of his head. And what if he has a dent somewhere? Not everybody has a cute
No,
head.
but the thing, we saw his head from the back though, and his
Uh-huh.
head has a good shape to it. That's why I say he should go bald.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he has a good head shape. He can go bald easily um with no problem, and he has the right kind of facial hair too.
I just think he's so tied up in his like image and how he presents himself. I think it would be hard for him to go bald. Like he'll hold on to that last inch of hair until the very end. Ugh. 46. Then it's better to shave it in. Yeah. All right. He should get one of those hats with the hair glued to. We going down Geno territory now. My God. All right. So we've covered all of the cast of characters, right? Everybody
Yep,
is done, ended,
everyone's
and we
done.
don't get reunions for this, do we?
No.
Another reason why to like this part of the franchise. Okay, so we talked about this in our last show. My Big Fat Fabulous Life starts this coming Tuesday, so we will be talking about that next Friday. Okay. So I don't know how many of you will be interested in that, but we would love for you to join us to talk about the upcoming adventures of Whitney and all of her annoying friends. Natural is better. Let's see. He's still trying to make it in the music industry, probably, so he won't let that hair go. I forgot
Mm,
about that. But Seal is so sexy bald. But Seal got a nice voice, though. I don't know. Hats. No, we got you. We got you, Running Grey Wolf. Good point. Can't wait to see Whitney and Babs. Yeah, Babs is ill again, so I'm hoping that Babs and Glenn are okay because they're the only reason why I watch this stupid show. Okay, so Jamal, any final thoughts on this season?
no, another great season.
Yay! Okay, y'all, that was it. Hopefully, it'll come on regular TLC soon. If not, no, it will because the first season came
Right.
on, right?
The first season came
Yeah.
on. Yep.
So it should come on in a couple of weeks. You can watch it then if you don't have Discovery Plus, but it is an enjoyable part of the 90-day franchise. All right, Jamal, any final thoughts before we enter this weekend?
Nope, we are good. Have a happy weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. So until next time.
But of course.
All right, y'all. Bye.